What's up, Facebook and Instagram family? It's your girl Lakeisha back with another amazing interview. Now, y'all know I rocks with Dr. Ashley, right? Y'all know that is my girl. We rocks real hard. So I am so excited to have another interview today in partnership with the HBCU Experience Movement LLC. This one is one of my favorite schools, y'all, because y'all know I started at the big SU. I just didn't finish there, but that's all right. They wrote a whole book about their experience, and it's going to be released this month. So tonight, I want to introduce my girl, Miss Kimberlee Collins Walker. As you can see, she's the tax doctor, but I'm gonna let her tell y'all a little bit about herself. What's up, Kimberlee?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So
Good
excited.
and busy.
Yeah, busy doing a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm most importantly excited about this new movement, this new book that comes out tomorrow.
Y'all hear that? Tomorrow, we need y'all to go get the book.
Yes, on Amazon. So I need y'all to run those numbers up. I am so excited just to be able to talk about the Southern University.
Yes, look, they already know the girl started at the SU and got pregnant. Mom was like, "You coming home? You coming home?" So I didn't get to go back. I did finish, but yes, that's where I started in my higher education. So I'm so glad to talk to you on tonight. Start by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, of course, I'm Kimberlee Collins Walker. I'm a graduate of the Southern University, uh, A&M College. I'm an accountant. I'm a College of Business alumni. I graduated in 2009. I am currently active with the Southern University Alumni Association, especially with the home chapter where I'm currently am the treasurer. Um, I've been in this position, I think, 4 years.
All
Um, so I love to give back, especially to Southern University students to
right,
help them because it is Southern University alumni that have molded me and helped me become the accountant I am today. So
right.
that's one of the things I'm so grateful for. To that I attended Southern. Technically, I was supposed to go to a university in Texas, but 6 months before my senior year ended, I changed my mind and I
Mhm.
decided to go to Southern, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this. So was an HBCU your first choice?
I grew up around Southern. I grew up in
Mhm.
Stalinsville, Louisiana, the neighborhood that Southern is in.
Right.
So, when you about to graduate from high school, you're like, man, I'm leaving here. I'm just going
I'm getting up
officially.
out
I'm
of here.
just getting, and I really, I really did the application just to
Right.
say I could get out. But in reality, I knew that Southern was where I needed to be. And
Right.
I'm so glad for the opportunity. Um, I met so many people at Southern. Um,
Right.
I learned so much more about my culture that I did not learn in high school, middle school, that somehow was eliminated from the history book.
We
Uh,
had a paragraph. We had a paragraph. Okay.
yeah, a paragraph. And I just learned so much. At first, when I decided to go to Southern, I was debating on being a nurse until I realized how much blood and all that. So I was like, no, that's not it.
Yeah. Right. That's not me either. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not me. But I decided to do business, and it was, the alumni from Southern that molded me into that
Right.
field of accounting. And I think that it's so divine that it happened. And
Right.
I'm just grateful for it.
Right. Yeah. So myself grew up in a small town, Alexandria. I wanted to just get out. And so I don't think I ever really recognized or appreciated the fact that I was going to an HBCU. And just once I hit the yard, it was amazing. So like for Dr. Ashley to even want to partner with me to talk to y'all was is just super amazing to me. She know that's where my heart is. She know I started there. But it was just like from the moment you hit the campus, how everybody just embraced you, whether you were a freshman or you were not. And I was telling Yael last night, I said I ain't gonna tell my age, but I was at Southern when they was just building the student union. Like they weren't even finished with it yet. I was there in '94, so we didn't have a student union. Girl, we was mad because we was like, why are we paying student union fees and I ain't no student union?
Oh goodness.
But I discovered who I was, although I left, and I did finish at a PWI, but I really began to feel a pride about myself and who I was as a Black woman. Because again, went to a lot of white schools, but going to a school that was about me. Everybody looked like me
Right.
at the school, and then it was people from the other school, LSU, coming to our school to get an education, which was just crazy to me.
Yes, it was. And you say that my story is strange because it was a Southern University alum, Bonnie Jackson CPA, who's in Scotlandville, who I was in high school, still going back and forth what I'm majoring in. And so in 4-H, we have to take 4-H in Louisiana. So 4-H,
Yes.
we had to do an internship, and you had to have a mentor. So I said, okay, well, I want to do business. I have a Black mentor in Scotlandville. Let me go do the accounting.
Right.
So went there, met her. She told me all about it. It was, okay, okay. So then when I got to college, I was like, you know what? I did do that internship, that mentor. I said, maybe, let me go ahead to college of business. Let me go ahead and tell my freshman advisor that I'm going to do college of business. I did that. And then it was my church member who was another alumni who knew that I wanted to major into accounting, but knew that that field was predominantly white,
Mm-hmm.
a male field. So she knew how hard it was to be in that field and to climb up the ladder.
Right.
So as a freshman, do you know she was at LSU? She brought me in as a student worker,
Mm.
which I'm sure she had to fight because how would you
Right.
bring a Southern University student to LSU as a student worker when we have our own students? But it was divine again. That's what I say. I
Right.
think this path was meant for me.
Right.
I stayed there for some years learning government accounting, something that I learned in the books at Southern, but just the hands-on feeling, and that's
Right.
where I really saw the funding
Mm-hmm.
for schools. I really saw how much the other school got in state funding, and to hear what Southern got in
What?
state.
Yes. Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh,
Big difference.
we are not on an even playing field,
Not hardly. Not hardly.
you know. And so at that time, I knew that where I was, I needed to absorb everything that I could get
That's right.
here at this school,
Yep.
and then take it back across town to
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
during that time, at that time, I was like, okay, I got the government accounting experience, but I have it's something about public accounting, being with the public, educating them, and it was
Right.
just like I don't want to do government, So at that time, I had a instructor. Her name was Dr. Kathy Scott McCaleb. She was one of my instructors. After I finished her course, long story, I sent her a blast email, and I just said, hey, I'm a junior and I need additional public accounting experience. For the
Mm-hmm.
last 2 years, I applied at a lot of public accounting firms in Baton Rouge, and I truly believe that I was not selected because of where I said I attended school.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of weeks later, she replied. She apologized for her delay, and she said she's excited that I want to come and do an internship at her firm, but at this moment in her budget, she does not have budget to pay me. And I told her that was no problem. I
Right.
work for free.
Right.
When I tell you that first year, my my mom, she believed anything that I would do. She believed in me. But I know at that moment she was like, baby, you leaving a part-time student worker job for a free job. You know, I know she was like, okay, baby, okay. We're gonna make some adjustments, just do what you gotta do. I'll make sure whatever you love,
Right.
insurance, whatever you need will be paid. And when I tell you that was the best investment, I
Mm.
learned more there working free. I showed up every morning like I was getting a check Friday.
Right.
I knew that this is where I wanted. This is the field that I wanted to be in, and I need to absorb everything that
Right.
she had. She learned. She was still teaching at Southern. She was active with her sorority. I was,
Hmm.
and she was involved in the community, and that was my thing. Like I wanted to be able to pour into my community because we lack financial literacy.
We do. We
And
do.
after that first year, she offered me to work for her do tax season. I learned the accounting side. I learned the tax side. I was able to network with
Hmm.
some high dollar clientele.
Right.
After graduation, she offered me partnership. That
Wow.
and that was one of the greatest rewards, for me. And unfortunately, under her untimely death, she passed away. So
Hmm.
that's how I formed Assurance Tax and Accounting Group. But as
Wow.
I tell you, it is the help of Southern University, the alumni that just pour back into a student. I'm a
Right.
child from Scotlandville.
Hmm. Hmm.
I was raised in a single parent household.
Right.
I was not supposed to be where I am today. Or maybe
Exactly.
I'm not.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
because I was surrounded with a wonderful university, alums that just poured into the students that
Yep.
were there, it just it made me not realize that this is a black girl that's going into this white predominantly male field,
Yep.
and you can dominate it. You know you're not playing on even fields.
Right.
It doesn't mean nothing.
Exactly.
You can still be successful,
Yep.
and that's some of the things that I talked about in my book. We talked about um, patience. Because
Hmm.
I started at 7, we did not have an internet. Internet was just coming out, so registration was like a 10-mile walk every day.
I can only imagine. Oh, baby, I probably would have
Going
been
to
mad.
the building, you trying to figure out where this building is. You ain't had no cell phone. You was using maps. You was like, Jesus have mercy.
Hmm.
Can I just get somebody to put this in the system? No, no, no. Because life is not like that.
Right.
You know, you
Right.
have to learn patience. Even though you may have someone that says, no, you can't do this right now. Just be persistent. Yes, you
That's
can.
right. That's right.
And I learned the power of networking. I know it's crazy as
It's
it may sound.
huge.
I am a shy person. But at 7, you can't be shy, baby.
You should. You better not be if you want to
It,
eat.
look, if you are, they're going to pull it out of you.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things I'm so thankful. In a college of business, I know when you were there, you heard of Pretty Wednesday.
Hmm.
Everybody dressed up and go to the union. When the college of business, they flipped it. Oh no, not on Pretty Wednesday. You better not be dressed up like you're going out. You better be dressed up in a business suit.
But like you about to get some business done. How about that
Yes,
one?
and yes, and they forced us, to network. Even when we were doing projects, even if you had this clique that you hung out with, no. When it was
Right.
time for project time, the teacher moved you completely out that clique and put you
Yep.
over on the other side. You need to network with these people because you
Exactly.
need to be able to communicate with all different types of people.
Right.
And so I'm just so thankful for those opportunities,
Right.
um those lessons that I learned at Southern.
Mhm.
My history is I love Southern.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I decided to join the alumni um chapter because I know that there's a little girl that was like me.
Right.
And
That's
it
on the
was
thing.
yeah, it was alumni that helped me. And then even when I came to Southern, it was just so amazing to see alums come back and you was like, oh man, you're a black engineer, you're a black accountant, you're a black doctor, you're a black
Yes.
nurse.
Yes.
You wouldn't see this on TV. Like
Nope.
you mean you a real chemist? You a black chemist?
A chemist.
Yes.
Chemist. Yes. That wrote a book that we're using in class.
And you'll be like you're just so amazed to know that there are people that are like you that are not publicly um given their accolades but
Yep.
are really successful coming to and HBCU. And
Right.
that's one of the things that I tell people, you can get a real good education at HBCU, something that cannot be taught in a book.
Right. It's outside of the book. I think y'all speak more to it when Dr. Ashley started these series, of experiences. That's exactly what it is. And a lot of times your experience is really outside of the college. Yes, the college is the main part. That's why we go. But it's the experience outside of the classroom, off campus. If you had not even had the wherewithal to say, I'm finna write this lady, it was something that was instilled in you. It's just the whole environment. It's just a vibe. I mean, honestly speaking, it's a vibe. And I share this with everybody I talk to that has attended a HBCU. There's a huge difference when you go to a PWI as opposed to when you go to an HBCU. I think I got a very good education where I went. I don't regret that. But when I left, I left. I don't talk to them. I'm a part of alumni, but we're not family. With HBCUs, it's more family. You think about the experience. We were laughing last night. I was like, some people met their husbands, some people met their wives, they got children.
Right.
Like,
And you say that in my junior year, I had to cross register at LSU in the to take an accounting course because it wasn't offered that semester, and I needed to graduate the following semester. And when I tell you, I was like, okay, like I was just, it was a humongous class.
yep,
I was just a number.
yep,
Um, when they saw me, they already knew I was Southern because I had my Southern paraphernalia on.
exactly.
But even when I had issues and questions of trying to understand some of the concepts, I just didn't get that welcoming feeling, that vibe. And it's a shame, but I had to come back to Southern while I was in that class at LSU to get understanding because the instructor just wasn't
Right. It's a different vibe. Totally it's a different vibe. And you spoke about the funding aspect, and I think a lot of times we don't talk about this. Yes, I do feel like our HBCUs could do a little bit better with the financial aid situation. I think they need to talk more about it. But the reason why funding ain't like it is because we don't get it. I learned that when I was at Southern, my work study job was actually at the law center, and I worked in financial aid. So a lot of times, even now when my daughter decided to go to college, she started at an HBCU and it was slow. I'm like, yeah, you understand that because the funding comes really slow, number one. And number two, it's not enough. You submit those numbers to the state saying this is the number of students, this is my projections, and they slow about giving you your money. But the folks over there, oh, they get it, and they get it in the plethora compared to the HBCUs.
and that is true because when I had to cross register, I was just amazed at their College of Business. But I had to look at their state funding. Their their funding was almost triple what Southern whole system funding.
Right, right,
So
right.
of course they're gonna have more technology, but
Yeah.
that didn't stop me. That means that I just need to, my professor like, you just have to work harder. We're not gonna just we are not on an even playing field.
Right,
You're just gonna have to put in more work than normal. But as soon as you get to that level, it'll be a breeze. But
right,
that was another reason why I constantly talk about the alumni association.
right.
It's
Yes.
so important that we reach back where we came from.
Mm-hmm.
We pour back into our university as
Right,
recruitment, bringing more students to educate them more on the HBCU, financial funding, because of course, we're not getting the money from the state side.
not getting
That's
it.
one of my biggest advocacy, just give back. You
Yeah.
know, the alumni chapter I'm part of, we always have fundraisers, and I'm always promoting, hey, give back. If you can't attend, just buy a ticket.
Yes.
We're very transparent on the scholarships that we offer, all the things that we do with our donations, because we want people to know that we are giving back to these students at Southern.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because some of them are struggling just to come to an HBCU.
Yep. Yep.
You know, so it's very important that alums, even if you're not an alum,
Right.
you're back.
Yep. Still support. It's important to support. I mean, I think I saw it ever more so here in Houston. There's U of H on one side of the street and there's two at TSU on the other side of the street. And when I tell you they very different, they are very, very, very different. Same, same level schools. They both well known. One's an HBCU, one is a PWI, and you can tell with the funding and how things go, what is what. And I
Right.
was like, wow, I mean, they're literally across the street from each other.
And look, that's one of the good things that I was so excited when, of course, everybody has known about the human jukebox, but
Right.
in the last couple of years, we've been getting global exposure, which
Yeah.
is so awesome because now you see the band, but then it brings your attention. Well, what else does Southern offer?
Right.
So that's when the rest of the university could piggyback and say, okay, this is what Southern University offers. This is the different type of colleges. We have law centers,
Exactly.
nursing school, college of business. We offer a whole variety for you education. And I'm just thankful that the band was put on that platform to just to open the
The
door and the
door.
eyes for
Yes.
Southern. So people could just look,
Yes.
well, what is that school in the South? Well, we heard about the other school, LSU. What
Right.
Southern University? Yes, there's another school,
Right.
Southern University.
Right.
We have
That's
5 campuses all over Louisiana.
exactly. Exactly. Like, I mean, when you think about it, the Human Jukebox is known as one of the best bands, in the world. Like you said, it's global. Talk to us a little bit about what that is like to be on the campus of one of the most, not one, the most
Yes.
amazing in the
Um,
world.
being on campus, as they call it, the yard is
Yes.
like a big old family reunion. You meet people with all different nationalities. Of course, you meet your people.
Right.
It's it's an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for it. It's just a real good experience. And then, of course, when you hear the band, you get excited.
Yes.
It's like you hear the music on the radio, but then you're like, oh man, the band sounds better than the radio. You
Yeah.
know, and they really earned the name jukebox. Like
Right.
you would rather hear the band play that tune than on the radio. And
Right.
it's just like almost like a family reunion. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, homecoming. You know,
Oh, yes.
last year was, I think, I don't know, I forgot, maybe my 10th, 20th, I don't know. We're not gonna talk about how many years. But
Right.
it was supposed to be our anniversary, but we had it virtual. So this homecoming is gonna be for the record. Of course, buy your classic tickets went on sale today.
Yeah.
That is gonna be for the records. We're just so happy just to get back to be around everyone you went to school with, to bring new people in. Like my son, he is obsessed. My son and my daughter are obsessed with Southern University.
Mm-hmm.
I brought him on campus at 11 months. He was in the football stands with me with season books. The season books holder since he was born.
Right.
He's 9 now, and he's obsessed. Like I am pouring that Southern hospitality, that Southern,
Right.
you know, I'm pouring that into them. I
Right.
would love for them to go to Southern. I pray, and God knows, I pray and hope they go to Southern, but they're going to go to HBCU. But I hope
Right.
it's Southern. But
Right.
the Southern has done so much for me and my family.
Exactly. And I mean, when you think about all of it, it encompasses, family. When you think about us as Black people, family reunions are something we're known for. Like that's just everybody our cousin, you
Yeah,
know, we kick it with everybody, and that's just like how it is when you step on the campus, of a HBCU. I can recall, like my godparents lived in Baton Rouge, and when I went to Southern, I kind of had a leg up because they alumni knew some of everybody. But it wasn't anywhere you can't go where somebody recognizes you for some reason, or even if they don't really know you, they resonate with you, all because you have the same hue and because they know you have something in common. We all here for the same reason. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Wow, we here, and I think we do really need to talk more about HBCUs and their importance. A lot of them are on historical land. All of those things that it encompasses. It ain't there just to shake your butt for the band. We know they jamming, but there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of history there with
And
those.
say that that's one of the things that I love. When I attended Southern, I learned
Right.
about me, you know,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then I learned about Southern, and it makes you like, gosh, like to see what your ancestors did to be able to get this institution up and running for
Right.
you, because
Right.
nobody else wanted you to have an education. And
Can
that,
you speak on it? Please tell them
you know,
again.
and that's one of the things I'm like, like Southern has so much of rich history.
Right.
When you just read back of when it was founded, and you look at the times it was founded, and you're like,
Yeah.
really, like we were not supposed to know how to read or write, but our ancestors were formed and founded a whole
Yeah.
university system.
Right.
you know, and it's so much history on the campus that you could just learn about yourself
Yeah.
and your ancestors. So
Yeah. That's true. I love that about those schools. So share a little bit about your chapter. Now don't give it all to them, sis, because we need to go get that book tomorrow.
I
We
know.
need, we need to
Um,
go to Amazon.
okay, so my chapter basically talks about how I started at Southern University, what I learned about patience, networking, trusting the process, about the fun times at Southern, the hard times at Southern, and just how my whole experience formed me to the woman I am today. How I was able to start Assurance Tax and Accounting Group, how I've been active in the community, educating my community about financial literacy, staying abreast of all the new tax and accounting laws, and
Right.
just being able to help my community, especially people that want to be entrepreneurs, how to set it up the correct way and how
Yes.
to what to do after you make the money.
Mm-hmm.
you know. So
Mm-hmm.
that's I'm just so thankful for all of that because that molded me. I'm in this little mold of Southern University because it has really, people say, oh well, I went to school and that was it. I can't say that.
Right.
Something has been embedded in my life, and no matter where I turn, it's always something that Southern has done to help me get to the next level of success.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. And then, you spoke on what you're doing now, which is great. And that's the give back. I think sometimes we forget that we got somebody sold into us. So we
Yeah,
have to give back. Like we have to make sure that we're sowing into others. I love how you say we have to start when people start their businesses. I think 2020 we saw a rush of people doing just that. But then when it came time for government funding, they couldn't get anything because it was a side hustle that didn't wasn't even recognized by the government. You didn't have an LLC, and they didn't understand. Well, I got a DBA. Okay, well, yeah, that means nothing. You have to be structured right. So I'm really glad that you do that. That you give back and show people that we got to do our stuff right so we can buy from each other.
exactly. And that's so important. And that's another reason why I went into public accounting is because of the lack of education in our community about finances. You
Right.
know, and we can't expect to grow if we don't know.
Or if we don't, you right.
And how can we know if no one tells us? So
Right.
that's my advocacy to educate my people on how to operate a business correctly, what
Right.
to do to get government funding, how to get the government contracts.
Right. Right.
and how to pay your taxes.
Yeah, so you beating orange, like that's not for me, boo. So
Right.
no, I'm not even supposed to play with the government. I'm not going to play with the gov like that. Listen, you gonna get yours. Um, and I'm not gonna play with you because y'all are not. And I mean, people have seen like look at all these reports we got of people going to jail for getting PPP that wasn't supposed to, or getting these small business loans that they weren't supposed to.
Right.
Too many.
Too many.
And I'm not even trying to be one of them. So yes, I am so glad that you do that. So what's next for you? What's the next for Miss Kimber?
The next from me is promoting this awesome book that comes out tomorrow. Also, one of my things that I am doing this summer is I'm offering uh, um, income tax academy, where
Okay.
I have people who want to learn taxes the correct way,
Mm-hmm.
and who may want to open a business. You come to the academy, and I'll help you get set up, get your all your credentials, even get you software, and mentor you during your first season of opening your business. So kind of like an entrepreneurship school
Yes.
to help you, and then also setting up businesses. Me and another Southern alumni will
Mm-hmm.
host a seminar called um, "How to Handle Your Business." So it's for entrepreneurs
I
who
like
are either want to be an entrepreneur or already in entrepreneurship, to tell you, okay, you know how to get the money, but what do you do after you get the money? That's where the
that part.
discussion needs to be. So we're
Right.
coming up with a dialogue of a workshop for those individuals. So we have some exciting things. Of course, football season by classic.
Right.
A whole bunch of fundraisers for Southern Alumni Association, spending time with family, promote the book, and just being Kimberlee.
Love that. I absolutely love that. And I'm really, like I said, I'm really glad that you give back that way, that you are sewing into your community that way. Tell everybody how they can get connected with you, because they need to be plugged in, like for
Yes.
real.
So how you can get connected to me is social media. Um, Kimberlee Collins Walker on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Miss Kimberlee. It's MSKYMBERLIE. But my business page is Assurance Tax, on Facebook, Assurance Tax and Accounting Group, and on Instagram is Assurance Tax. Of course, you can reach my website at assurancetaxbr.com, or you could text me at 85100 Tax Doctor, and you can get signed up. Every week I post newsletters. Well, monthly I post newsletters, but every week I post different tax tips, anything that's going on with the government and accounting, in the world of accounting and entrepreneurship,
Right.
or in the world of taxes. I post tips, FYI, just to keep everybody abreast of what's going on.
I love that. Like, we need to stay abreast of everything that's going on, and not just so that because some stuff we need to not be doing ourselves. I say if you are an entrepreneur, you are a business owner, you need to be doing your own taxes. You need to have a professional
Yes.
do your taxes for you. But it's always good to know what you should be doing, so that you don't have a mess for your accountant or your tax professional at the end of the year. It's always good to know the things you should be doing.
Right, and that's one of the things that we be talking about in our seminar. It's, as an entrepreneur, you can't do everything.
Right.
Everything else delegate.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. So I have definitely enjoyed chatting with you. Congratulations on an amazing book. I am so glad it's dropping tomorrow. I'm definitely going to get my copy.
Thank
Uh,
you.
I'm definitely going to support that. And I really, really wish you the best. And everybody, they better get connected with you. They know they need tax information. I don't know why they play.
Tax and accountant.
Yes, definitely. So thanks again for joining us on tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.